What will happen when these are introduced into your body? Lynette, forgot. What will happen when these
Ma'am,
ah,
we just started vaccines.
I didn't explain about antibodies and all.
No, ma'am.
Finished antibody.
Ah, yes.
Ma'am,
So,
explain what is antibodies.
okay, who one of you tell me what will happen when vaccines are introduced? That I might have told. Pooja, what will happen when vaccines are introduced into your body?
And when it enters our body, it will produce antibodies.
And these antibodies will
Remain in our body.
remain in our body and protect your body from disease-causing organisms. Can Lynette repeat now? Lynette, can you repeat now? I'll say once again if you want, or else if you are ready to say, you can. Yes, Lynette?
Ma'am, what is the question?
Very good. Where is the Lakshmi? Lakshmi, I'll come back to you, Lynette. Lakshmi, repeat the answer. What will happen when vaccines are introduced into your body?
Ma'am,
Wait, not Lakshmi Nandakumar, Lakshmi CV.
Ma'am, when vaccines are introduced to our bodies, it produces antibodies.
And
These
these antibodies
remain in our body
and
and protect us from diseases causing microorganisms.
Okay, now Lynette can say, I think.
Ma'am, these antibodies remain in our body and protect us from diseases causing
Causing germs or diseases.
like
Okay, let us continue. So we'll start with vaccines again, so that if you have forgotten those points, you will come to know, you can just review those points once again. So vaccines are dead or weakened microbes. These are dead or weak microbes, and they are introduced in your body so as to prevent you from or protect you from diseases. And these vaccines, once they are introduced into your body, they will release antibodies. They make your body to release antibodies. And these antibodies will remain in your body and protect us from disease-causing microorganisms. And for several diseases, we have vaccines: polio, cholera, typhoid, smallpox, hepatitis, and many more diseases. We have found out vaccines. And some of the diseases are completely eradicated. Smallpox and all, it's no more on the earth's surface now. No more new cases are reported. It is completely removed from the earth's surface. And then polio is also almost on the verge of complete extinction from the earth's surface. So with the help of these vaccines, we have succeeded in preventing so many diseases, and some of the diseases we should completely wash out from the earth's surface. So that was about vaccines. Now next we are moving on to another important use of microorganisms. So with vaccines we completed the medicinal use. Under medical or medicinal use we discussed about antibiotics and vaccines. Now we are moving on to the next use, that is cleaning the environment. Microorganisms help in cleaning the environment. So let's see how it is happening. Microorganisms, they will decompose, they'll break down the dead organic waste of plants and animals into simple substances. So the complex substances present in the dead waste of plants and animals will be broken down to simpler substances. And this can be again used by the soil. Why? Because microorganisms are there in the soil. So they will act on the dead waste of plants and animals, break it down into simple substances, and it will be added to the soil. From the soil, again the plants will absorb. And by consuming plants, we also get a share of these nutrients. So nutrients keep recycling. Or else you can say they degrade, they decompose the harmful smelly substances and clean up the environment. Just imagine that there are no microorganisms. And if you dump any waste in your, any waste anywhere, maybe in your backyard of your house, any place, any dumping sites, if you put all these waste, it will keep accumulating over there. If microorganisms are not there, they will start producing foul smell. It will be the breeding place for different type of flies, mosquitoes, house flies, etc. will spread, and they will cause different diseases. They will result in the spread of diseases. But since these microorganisms are there, if you dump any organic waste, within a few days, they'll completely mix up, decompose it and mix it up with the soil. That is why you can just think, like suppose in your backyard, you are dumping some vegetable waste, some rotten vegetables were there or spoiled vegetables were there, you dumped it in the backyard of your house. A few days later, if you check, will it remain in the same condition? Lynette, will it remain in the same condition?
No, ma'am.
No, because
The
by the action of these microbes, slowly, it will decay, it will break down, and gradually it will mix up with the soil, adding nutrients back to the soil. So they are helping to clean the environment. And not only that, a point not mentioned over here, they also help in the recycling of these minerals, because only when they decompose, these nutrients will go back to the soil, and from the soil plants can absorb, and from the plants animals also will get a share. Hope you understood. I'll repeat the point once again. Microorganisms, they will decompose. Decomposition means breaking down complex substances into simpler particles. So they will decompose the dead organic waste of plants and animals into simple substances, and this can be again used by the plants. They degrade these harmful smelly substances. Otherwise, if microorganisms are not there, these waste will accumulate, releasing foul smell, spreading diseases. But that will not happen. They will degrade all these substances and help in cleaning the environment. And now we are moving on to the next and very important function of, or use of microorganisms. They will help in increasing the soil fertility. The soil fertility can be increased by the action of microorganism. So let us see how it is happening. We all know that nitrogen is present in the atmosphere. A major part of the atmospheric air consists of nitrogen. Almost 70% of atmospheric air is made up of nitrogen. But this nitrogen is in the form of gas. And this gaseous nitrogen cannot be used by plants or animals. If plants need to absorb it, they cannot take it directly from the atmosphere. They need it in the soluble form. They can absorb it from the soil along with water. They are not able to absorb atmospheric nitrogen. So they need it in the soluble form. So who will help in converting this atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form? Microorganisms. They'll fix the atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogen compounds, or they will convert nitrogen in the gaseous form from the atmosphere and convert it into soluble nitrogen compounds like nitrates, nitrites, and all these they will be adding it to the soil. So the soil will be enriched in nitrogen, and hence it will increase the soil fertility. And in our previous chapter, you learned about a group of plants in which some root nodules are there which contain such bacteria. Are you remembering? What type of plants, children?
Legumes.
Very good. Leguminous plants. Leguminous plants are those which provide us with pulses. And in these leguminous plants, I'll show you the picture. In the leguminous plants, the roots are provided with root nodules. Some bubble-like structures or sac-like structures are present in the roots. And inside these root nodules, they lodge some bacteria are present inside these root nodules. And just like Rhizobium bacteria, you can find Rhizobium bacteria inside the root nodules. And what they do, they will convert atmospheric nitrogen to nitrogen compounds, and it will add it to the soil and will increase the soil fertility, and plants can absorb it from there. That is why farmers, when they carry out crop rotation, that also you learned in our previous class, isn't it? Not previous chapter. Okay, in crop rotation, farmers will definitely include leguminous plants. So you know that in crop rotation, on the same field, several crops will be cultivated in a pre-planned order. So after harvesting some cereal crop like wheat or rice, farmers will prefer to grow a leguminous plants. Why? Because the cereal crops, once they are grown in the field, they'll utilize all the nitrogen, and soil will be lacking in nitrogen. But in the next season, if the farmer is planting a leguminous crop, that will enrich the soil nitrogen with the help of the Rhizobium bacteria in their root nodules. Hope you got it. Hope you are remembering what we learned in our previous chapter. And such microbes which help in fixing this atmospheric nitrogen, you call them as biological nitrogen fixers. Biological nitrogen fixers. They fix nitrogen. Why biological? Because they are living organism. If these organisms are not there, what will happen? We will have to add chemical fertilizers to enrich the soil with nitrogen, which can result in pollution. So that will help in reducing the use of chemical fertilizers also. Now, the two examples are Rhizobium bacteria. You can see the picture of Rhizobium bacteria over here, and then blue-green algae. Even though we say blue-green algae, it's not an algae. It's green in color. It can carry out photosynthesis. You call it as blue-green algae, but in fact, it is a bacteria. Just 1 minute, children. It's a bacteria. You call this bacteria as cyanobacteria. Cyan is the blue-green color. Cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria is the other name for blue-green algae. Both of them are bacteria, not an algae. Okay. So once again, we will summarize all the points we learned so far. With this one, we are completing all the uses of microorganisms. So what all points we completed today, we'll just quickly revise. We started with vaccines. Vaccines are dead or weakened microbes introduced into the body to release antibodies. And what do these antibodies do? They will remain in our body and protect your body from disease-causing organisms. They are the soldiers of your body. They form a part of your immune system. Then, many diseases like polio, cholera, typhoid, smallpox, hepatitis, and many more, we have vaccines to prevent these diseases. Then the next use is cleaning the environment. Microorganisms will decompose the dead organic waste and they will convert it into simple compounds which can be again used by plants and animals. Or else you can say they degrade the harmful smelly substances and they'll clean up the environment. If these organisms are not there, all these substances will pile up on the earth's surface and they will produce or they'll result in the multiplication of different type of vectors like house flies, mosquitoes, etc. And the communicable diseases will result in different type of communicable diseases. Then we learned about increasing soil fertility. Microorganisms, they will help in fixing nitrogen or converting atmospheric nitrogen into soluble compounds of nitrogen like nitrate, nitrite, etc. And they will add it to the soil. Why it is essential? Because plants cannot use gaseous nitrogen. They want only in the, or they can use only in the soluble form. So who will help plants to do that? To get these soluble compounds, nitrogen fixing bacteria. You call those microbes which convert atmospheric nitrogen into soluble compounds of nitrogen as biological nitrogen fixers. Two examples are Rhizobium bacteria and blue-green algae. Pictures also you can see over here. These are the root nodules in which the bacteria will be present. And this is the picture of Rhizobium bacteria, and you can see blue-green algae also. The other name for blue-green algae is cyanobacteria. It's not an algae, it's a bacterium, and it is not a single form. Many forms are there. A group of microbes together form blue-green algae. Okay, any doubt? So next what we need to learn is about harmful microorganisms. So before we proceed to harmful microorganisms, I want to hear from you what we had completed just now. Tamanna Ansil, can you hear me? Tamanna, are you there? Tamanna, just respond using the chat box why your video is off. You are here. Tamanna, tell me one use. You tell me what are vaccines. Tamanna, you are searching for the answer or you are trying to unmute? Tamanna, yes. What are vaccines, Tamanna? What do vaccines contain? I need the answer. You know the answer. If you don't know the answer, don't waste time. Tell me that I don't know. Don't search for the answer when I'm asking. Yes? Yes, Tamanna?
Vaccines prevent us from the disease like polio.
You are reading from somewhere? Yes, you are reading. I know. I can make out. Huh? Not reading. That is what we discussed now. Is that what we discussed now? Nandana will tell the answer. Once she finishes, you should repeat it. Okay, listen carefully. Nandana, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Tell me.
Ma'am, we learned other two uses of microorganisms. The first one is clean the
No,
environment.
you heard my question. Did you hear my question? I want you to tell me what are vaccines. About vaccines, you should tell me.
And vaccines are the dead and weakened microorganisms introduced into the body to produce antibodies.
Very good. Then, these antibodies.
Antibodies remain into our body and they protect us from the diseases causing microbes.
Excellent. Good. Then, Tamanna. Repeat what she said. Tamanna, don't waste time. We don't have so much time to waste. For you only, I made Nandana repeat. I want the answer from you. Yes, you can. You can say. Try. Let there be mistakes, no problem. I am here to help you. Vaccines contain?
Vaccines contain microbes.
What type of microbes? I'll say once, Tamanna. I'll say the answer once. You are wasting everyone's time. Please listen once again. Vaccines contain dead or weakened microbes, and these are introduced into the body to produce antibodies. Okay, these antibodies will remain in our body and protect us from disease-causing microorganisms. Yes, Tamanna, your turn now.
Vaccines contains dead and weakened microbes.
Very good. Then.
That
It will make your body produce what?
antibodies
And what is the role of antibodies?
that antibodies protect us from disease-causing microbes.
That's it. Why you were not attentive in the beginning, Tamanna? So please don't turn the video off. Okay? Agreed? Agreed, Tamanna? Yes, that's the spirit. Okay. Sridev, next use what we learned.
Cleaning of the environment.
Tell me how it is happening.
Microbes decompose the dead organic waste of the plants and animals into simple substances which can be used again by plants, and thus we will get, and when we eat the plants we will also get the nutrients.
Okay, okay. Or else you can say the same point. How can you say in a different way, Isha?
Ma'am, microorganisms decompose the dead and decaying matter into simple substances which can be used by plants and animals.
But one more point I told, no? In that,
They help in recycling the minerals.
Okay, good. And but they will, otherwise what will happen? They'll clean off, will help in cleaning of those foul smelling substances and reduce the spread of
Flies,
mosquitoes. Yes. Good, good. Next, last point, Vaishnavi, last point.
Ma'am, it increases soil fertility.
It increases soil fertility. Who will explain that? Nivedya, tell me how it is increasing soil fertility.
And some microorganisms help in fixing in the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form, and plants can use it.
Very good, very good. Now, what do you call those organisms? Muhammad Salim, I can see only your fan. Muhammad Salim, what do you call those organisms which convert or which fix atmospheric nitrogen? What do you call? Common name for them? Who can tell me that?
Ma'am,
Yes, yes, Irene. Wait, Irene?
Biological nitrogen fixers.
Very good. Now Salim can repeat.
Biological nitrogen.
Nitrogen. One more term. Biological nitrogen fixers. You went somewhere in between. That's why you couldn't catch it up. Okay, tell once again. What are they? Repeat, Salim, Muhammad Salim.
Biological fixers nitrogen.
Biological nitrogen fixers. I want you to repeat.
Biological nitrogen fixers.
Good. Can you give an example for such an organism, Muhammad Salim? Anyone? Microbe? Wait. He was a little distracted. That's why I'm asking him. Yes, Muhammad Salim. You know, if you don't know, you can say, I don't know. No problem. You know?
Green, blue algae.
Twisted. You say the reverse order. Color you. Blue, green algae. Okay, good. Good attempt. And one more example. Lakshmi Nandakumar.
Rhizobium bacteria.
Rhizobium bacteria and blue-green algae. These two are examples for biological nitrogen fixers. Now we need to learn about harmful microorganisms. Now we had been learning in so many classes about the uses of microorganisms. But as you all know, microorganisms, even though they are useful, many of them are harmful to us. So let's see some of the harms caused by microorganisms. Some microorganisms, they can cause diseases. That is the main harm caused by microorganisms. They cause diseases in plants and animals. And what do you call disease causing microorganisms? Pathogens. What are pathogens? Disease causing microorganisms are known as pathogens. And some of them, they will grow on the food substances and they'll release some toxic substances, means poisonous substances. And this will make the food poisonous. And if you consume it, you can get food poisoning. So the first one is that they cause several diseases in plants and animals. Then the second one, what we said is they can grow on, if you are not preserving it properly, microorganisms can grow on these food items and they will release some harmful substances, poisonous substances. And if you consume this food, you get food poisoning. Sometimes food poisoning can result in the death of the person. So you need to be very careful and preserve the food. It can cause illness like stomach upset, vomiting, and severe cases, it will result in the death of the person. So it is very important that we preserve the food properly. And apart from causing food poisoning and diseases, they spoil different products like clothing, shelter, wood, etc. can get damaged by microorganisms. Especially during the rainy season, if you don't clean, or regularly if you don't clean your leather shoes, leather bags, you can see white patch will appear on the bag. You might have noticed, isn't it? Even now if you check your school bag, you can find it because you are not using the school bags and your school shoes since months. So check it today itself and see whether some fungus or some... Yes?
Last day when we was cleaning the house, we saw it.
That's it. So in between, if you don't clean, it can spoil your leather items. Not only that, even on cloth also black patches will appear. First green patches, then black patches, and you will not be able to use it anymore. If moisture is there on this clothes, and if you are drying it properly under the sun, it will not happen. But after getting wet, or by some reason your clothes get wet, and if you're just folding it and keeping it somewhere without drying it properly, then also this can be spoiled by microorganisms. And even the products made of wood, your different furnitures made out of wood also can get spoiled by microorganisms. If you don't regularly check all these products and put proper varnish and keep it away from moisture only, you can save these products. So these are some of the harms caused by microorganisms. They cause diseases. Once again, I'll repeat, they cause diseases in plants and animals, and disease causing microorganisms, you call them as pathogens, and they can even grow on food items and release, once they start multiplying, they'll release some poisonous substances. If you consume it, it can result in illness, stomach upset, vomiting, diarrhea, and even in severe cases, it can result in the death of the person. So you should be very careful and you have to preserve it properly. And microorganisms even spoil materials like clothing, leather, wood, etc. And the next one is about disease causing microorganisms in human beings. So they cause diseases. Microorganisms can cause diseases in human beings, other animals, plants. So all these living organisms are affected by microbial diseases. They also cause different types of diseases in human beings. Disease causing microorganisms, they enter into a body through different means. It can enter through air, through food and water, direct physical contact with the person, or through the vectors or insects. Through different means, this can enter into your body. For example, if a disease, for a common cold, you know that it spreads through air. And a person having common cold, if he sneezes, he will release out some droplets into the air, and a person who is in close proximity, and if he is also inhaling, sharing the same room, and he is inhaling the same particles or the air containing these virus particles, he may get this disease, and that depends on his immunity power. Every time the microbe enters your body, you will not get the disease. Depends upon the strength of your immunity power, but there are chances that you may get the disease. Some diseases spread through contaminated food and water, some with direct physical contact with the person, and also through different type of insects like malaria, dengue fever, etc. will be spreading through insects by mosquito bites. And diseases can spread. As I told you, diseases spread from one person to another through different means. And in general, you can call all these diseases as communicable diseases. Now also, we are in a battle against a communicable disease. That is why we are sitting in a virtual classroom. Which is that disease?
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
Our battle is against whom now?
COVID-19.
Coronavirus or COVID-19 virus. We are all are trying their best in the or win the battle against coronavirus. That is also a communicable disease. And it is because of this disease that we are, whenever we are stepping out of your house, you are wearing mask and you are carrying sanitizer and you are washing your hands in between so as to protect yourself from this disease. So that is also COVID-19 or corona is also an example for communicable disease which spread from an infected person to a healthy person. All the diseases which spread from an infected person to a healthy person are known as communicable diseases. Cholera, common cold, chicken pox, tuberculosis, all these are examples for communicable diseases. Cholera is spreading through contaminated food and water, common cold through air, chicken pox through air and also with the physical contact with the person, tuberculosis through air. So all these diseases, different diseases are there, and these are spread through different type of microbes like bacteria, virus, protozoa, etc. And we have to be very careful, otherwise you can easily get any of these communicable diseases. So you should know which are the different ways through which these microorganisms enter your body, and you should take necessary precautions. For example, if a person is having common cold, if he's coughing or sneezing, he should cover his nose or mouth with a kerchief so that it will not spread to other people. And for the same reason, we are wearing mask. Once you wear the mask, you are protecting yourself as well as others from the spread of diseases. But wearing mask alone will not give you protection. You have to take many other precautions, social distancing, then using sanitizer. There are many more precautionary measures to be taken. I hope you all are taking all those measures and keeping away coronavirus. So whatever we have covered just now about harmful microbes, quickly can you summarize? Who will start? Advait Murali, 1 point. You tell me what are communicable diseases?
Ma'am, disease can be spread from an infected person to a healthy person are called communicable disease.
Now without looking you say.
Disease can be spread from person from another is called a communicable disease.
Infected to healthy person. Once again.
Disease causing microbes.
Wait. I'll tell you once again. Communicable diseases. So diseases which spread from an infected person to a healthy person. Repeat.
Disease can be spread from an infected person to a healthy person is called communicable disease.
So such diseases are called communicable diseases. And Anashwara, tell me one communicable disease, one example. Anashwara, Rajesh.
Ma'am, chicken pox.
Chicken pox. Then one more. You said something.
Common cold.
Common cold and chicken pox. Then what are pathogens? Ken Shibin. Ken's video is paused. Who will say? Who is going to say what are pathogens? Yes. Tell me, Nandana.
Such diseases causing microorganisms. They are
Very good. Disease causing microorganisms are known as pathogens. Okay, so we'll wind up our session for today. Please do revise next class. Okay, no doubts, no?
No, ma'am.
Any
No,
doubts?
ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Thank you, children.
Thank you, ma'am.